Any better, I'd be you, and only you know how good that is.
Amen.
Right. So Corinne, tell us about "I Paint My Own Reality," man. Wonderful title. No. First of all, tell us about Corinne Jalouk, man.
Okay, so
I know who. First name Hannah, last name Luya.
yes. So I love education. I taught for Total Community Action 1 year out here, and my goal is really to evolve our generation, to evolve in any way possible. So to use my life experiences to give others the knowledge that they may not have had.
Wow, you know when I and then to learn the history of your family, the boys, the Jalouks, the Augustes, man, Martin, just how rich, especially as a writer and as a thinker, learning how rich that culture and that history of that family is.
Yes, I tell people my history is deep. You know, a lot of people.
6 Ward, 7
6
Ward.
Ward, 7 Ward. My mom, she's amazed. My uncle Warren Mays, he used to rap back in the day. You know,
yes.
So I have so many. I have Mia X, that's my aunt. I have
Absolutely,
big names
the
in my
Young
family.
no
So
doubt.
so you know, I've been influenced by a lot of people, and for me, I just ate it all up and said, you know, I saw what they did, and let's go 10 notches above that.
So let's talk about this book, man. I love the title, man. I Paint My Own Reality. What inspired that? And what's the mission of the book?
I love art, so I love to collect art, and that's very important for me as a young black woman. I think it's important that we are in the arts, and that, you know, I'm not an artist, but in a way I am. So that started.
You're an artist.
Yeah, most definitely. That sparked my interest. So I paint my own reality. I said, wow. So I look at these canvases all day, and in theory, a canvas starts blank.
Mm-hmm.
You, as the person, you get to decide what you're going to put on that canvas. In life, there's a lot of people who are going to want to paint all over your canvas. They think your canvas should be a tiger while you think it's an elephant.
Right.
So I had to learn from trauma, from life experiences, that, hey, that was your experience. That's not mine. I choose what my experience will be, and I paint my own reality.
Well, I was watching the interaction with you and James Bronner, man, and how intentional that was, you know,
Yes.
especially, I mean, you know, doing wonderful in what you do, and then what Bronner Brothers is doing, especially with branding our people in business and beauty. Important in all sectors, right? They're painting their own canvas while you're doing the same thing with yours.
They're very important, and once I came in here and I heard you say his name, I said, wow. Just yesterday, people kept saying, why aren't you at Bronner Brothers? And I said, I don't know what that is.
Right.
I'm not into hair. I get my hair done, but I don't know what that is. They said, it's the biggest thing in the city right now.
No doubt about
How
it.
could you not know?
Right.
So to hear that, I said, I have to meet this man.
God's always moving. Huh?
Always moving.
Always moving the chess
And
piece.
congrats to him. That's
No doubt.
that's huge. And to make that connection just now was amazing. And like you said, God is moving. You get put in situations to where you never know what happens.
So Corinne, you know, as a child of New Orleans, you know, as wonderful as you've been, it's a hard knock town.
Very hard.
It's I tell folk New Orleans, especially for young black man and female, New Orleans is times 10.
Yes.
Just to survive it. What was different about you? I know being displaced after Katrina, but surviving this city, right, and being on the road, especially for education and success, what was the difference for you?
My parents, they cared. My dad, he's educated, graduated from St. Aug. All of my dad's side of the family, they believe in education, they push for it. My mother, she didn't finish middle school, so she pushed for us to go the full length. She kept us in, we were never in inner city schools. We were at schools with mainly white kids, so
Right.
I valued education. I was always intelligent, and that meant something to me. So them instilling that in me, it took me a long way.
And talk about how important SUNO was to you too, man. A lot of people don't respect that university, but they've produced some wonderful talent in this town.
Yes, so initially I started at the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg. My grandmother got sick, I moved back, and I transferred to SUNO. And it was an easy transition. Honestly, I had never heard of SUNO, and I lived here all my life. I had family members that graduated from it, so when I got there, I was like, this is amazing. That's the university where I pledged Delta Sigma Theta. That university means a lot.
Oh,
to me.
Delta.
Yes.
Oh, well, you know, Delta's
Yes.
big in our family.
Most definitely.
My sister out there, Judy Thomas, our little cuz Delta.
Yes. Yes, so it meant a lot, and I actually experienced a problem there at Suno, and I thought for a minute I wasn't going to graduate, and I had people that made way and pulled it through for me.
Now, walk us through the book, you know, and some of the points in the book that you know are going to have an impact on people when they read it.
Well, I start off with a bang in the first chapter. So my mother is paralyzed. She's been paralyzed my whole life.
Wow.
And she was also a single parent. Granted, my father was always in my life, but they were separated. So that in itself, it's a story to tell.
Absolutely.
She made a way no matter what, through all of her emotional trauma, through all of her financial trauma. She made a way for us to get the best of the best.
So many people have excuses, right, for why they can't succeed. Here you are with a paralyzed mother, probably as great a challenge as a kid could have, being in New Orleans, being displaced, and you still made it. What were a couple of things that you can attribute to your mom that you said, in spite of this situation, I had to make it?
She kept us in church. She has a lot of faith. So
You heard James Browner talk about when faith is your foundation.
Yes. She kept us in the tent revivals with the mosquitoes, and we were kids. We were always in church.
I guess it's like my mama Lee told my brother one time when he said he didn't want to go to church no more. She said, you're gonna go to church because even if you got to bump into Jesus by accident, you ain't calling those shots. You're gonna be in a place where I know even if it's an accidental encounter, you might get that feeling. Your mother had the same attitude.
My mother did, and I had a father. I mean,
right.
My father was very active, and my father left me for 11 years. He went to jail, so and still he was very active in our lives.
Right.
He was. I had uncles. They showed me what a man should be. Family friends who stepped up. So I had prominent male figures in my life, and I also had.
You talk about that in the book, your father?
Yes.
And that's important because I've facilitated and moderated DBE last night. Dominic Jones, Bree Anderson, and April Porsche, who's out there, the St. Bernard. They started Daughters Beyond Incarceration. And at Loyola Law School last night, they talked about even though a parent is incarcerated, it doesn't stop and should not stop a parenting relationship. And wow, what a great point for you to make that.
Very, very much so. We used to email all of the time, phone calls, whenever. And I mean, I was younger at the time, so of course, you know, I'm in school and things, so we can't talk all of the time. And yes, it was very different, but he always made sure, hey, what you doing? How you doing? You all right?
So you talk about being displaced after Katrina. What did that do? What did that mean? And what impact did that play into the author and writer that we see today?
That was trauma. Just we were in a Cajun dome, so and honestly, my great grandmother, Big Mama, she's the reason why we left. My mother begged her to stay here.
And who's your great grandmother? Name? What's her name?
Big Mama. Her name is Gladys Richardson. And she passed away, but she owned a house in the East, and she made sure that we didn't stay there. If we would have stayed, we would have been underwater.
Wow, 504-260-9265. When we ask what's up with the young people, and I tell folk all the time, man, we got some fascinating young people out there in the world that are doing some wonderful things, man. One of them just has to be my cousin, Miss Corianne Jalou. She's an author, motivational speaker. Her book, I Paint My Own Reality. Talk about your mom being paralyzed. Your dad, even though he was incarcerated for years, still understanding the importance of parenting. What are some of the other things in the book that folk need to read?
They need to read about my trauma. I've had a lot of death, close friends at my age. So Nicole is one of them. Malign was one of them. A big story out here.
Well, she was with Lil Corey.
I just left them. It was
shot,
less than 1 minute. I was with them. So that story itself is like, prepare yourself. Right. It's a story. And that was my best friend. So overcoming, having friends, having the right people around you, a sisterhood, having family that love you, and just knowing that if the vibe doesn't match, get rid of it.
Can you say that, unlike most people, and I think this is important for folk or young folk who are listening, is that Many use tragedy or disappointment. I know some folk right now, man, that if times get tough or if they're under pressure, they quit. You used it, even the loss of Milan. You used it for more motivation to be successful and make it in honor of them?
That's my fuel.
Go ahead.
That's my fuel. The month before Milan passed, I had another cousin, Brian. He passed. Well, they both were murdered. That's my fuel. I have to make them.
Well, there's that Corianne is bringing life.
Life. I am their life. I am everybody's life. For the generations coming behind me, I do this for them.
How did you know you wanted to be, when did you first know you wanted to be an author and a motivational speaker?
I didn't. Other people saw it in me.
That's honest, yeah.
Yeah, they saw it in me. They said, wow, you need to tell your story. I'm like, for what? You need to tell your story. So eventually, my last semester in school, I was in a class, and my professor told me, you need to write a book. And that was the last person. I said, it's done. Say no more.
There's a roses can grow into concrete, huh?
Yes, they do.
This is OT in the early bird, 504-260-9265, man. Corianne Jaluk, author, a motivational speaker. I Paint My Own Reality, the book. So, what else are you doing now, promoting your book, especially getting young folk to read the inspiration? Because I think it is extremely powerful, right?
Yes.
That so many young people use tragedy to quit or to talk about what they can't do. And you have specifically used tragedy and pain to say, you know what, this is my fuel for survival and my fuel to success. What a powerful message.
Yes. It's an important message above all else. So now I'm working on a curriculum to get it in schools. That's my goal.
For true, like we say in New Orleans, for
Facts.
true.
All facts.
So what's next for Corianne Jaluk? Are you working on another book? We got a sequel. We got some other stuff that we're working on.
We don't have a sequel yet. The next thing is, like I said, get that curriculum, get it into schools, especially inner city schools, and promote. Besides that, I'm just hustling.
Then, cuz, let's have a for real conversation, right?
Right.
From New Orleans, I'm out Lower 9, our family out 6 Ward, 7 Ward. New Orleans growing up, if you could talk to the leaders of this city, especially you've traveled, you've lived other places, you've educated yourself, you got your masters, you're writing, you pay attention to the world. If you could talk to the leaders of this city, you could get them in a room with you for a few minutes, what would you say to them?
We need to do better. New Orleans was tough. The education was poor. When I came back from Georgia, I went to Joan McDonald. I had to leave the school. They had nothing. They told me I was too advanced. There was nothing for me. We have to do better. We owe it to the kids. We have the opportunity. I'm from New Orleans. I'm a product. We can educate. We can do this, but we have to give them better opportunities.
City needs to step up its game?
The city has to step up. We're behind.
Now, you got another meeting. What do you say to those young people who feel like you? What is their responsibility?
I would tell them the same thing. You have to step up. There are no excuses. Excuses are nothing. You can't make an excuse.
504-260-9265. I see the lines are lighting up, man. Yeah, if you ever wanted to talk to somebody, man, you definitely want to talk. I know me and my little cuz, we don't know each other very well, but I'm never going to lose contact again. We got some young folk out there that are doing it big, that are motivating the next generation, and you need to be talking to our young people, especially, Corianne, how are you loving this whole movement for young women and young girls of color right now? You've got to be excited about that.
The Black Girl Magic is amazing.
Right.
The glow is amazing. My thing I always tell my friends, glow and grow. You gonna shine, but you gotta grow.
Right.
You have to be willing to accept that criticism, constructive, and you glow up. That's the goal, glow and grow.
504-260-9265. Where can people get a copy of the book, and how can they get in touch with you for speaking engagements, to maybe for book clubs?
Yes.
How can they do that?
My website, CorianneJaluk.com. Straightforward, you can find me on Facebook, Corianne Jaluk. Instagram, Corianne J. But That's it. I have a contact section. I have a shop section. You can get a mug, a shirt, whatever you need with the book. I also have the book in ebook file. So.
And the book is I Paint My Own Reality. I see the lines are lighting up again. Guys, hold on, because I definitely would like to get a couple of calls for people to ask this wonderful young woman some questions. Not to give too much, because we all need to get our copy, but
Please do.
James Bonner took my copy, so I'm gonna have to get mine. I'm gonna have to buy it. I'm gonna go online and get my copy from my cousin. We're gonna buy a piece. But how do you close the book out?
I closed the book by, the last title is Through It All. So I'm summing it up. Through it all, I overcame. Through it all, I still spread love. Love is the most important thing for me. If you listening, I love you. I don't have to hate you to love you. I love you. I don't have to know you to love you, no matter what. You are important. So I'm letting you know you are important. I'm letting you know through all of those relationships, what I say, I work hard to build relationships and keep relationships. I work hard to make a difference, no matter what, in education.
5 years from now, author, motivational speaker, inspirational leader. 5 years after that, Corianne Jaluk is doing what?
She's a mother. She's a wife. She's instilling knowledge in the youth. She's making a difference still.
Performing her Black Girl Magic.
Shining light, glowing and growing.
New Orleans, you missed the city when you were away?
I always miss the city. I love our culture. There's nothing like our culture.
Like it. Corianne, we got 30 seconds. Close us out. Talk to our listening audience. Let them know again, where can they get a copy of the book, I Paint My Own Reality, and how can they reach out to you?
So please go get your copy of the book, I Paint My Own Reality by Corianne Jaluk, which is at CorianneJaluk.com. No spaces, just together. And enjoy the read. Leave a review. Let me know what you think. Contact me on social media.
Man, what a wonderful opportunity, cuz. Make sure I want my copy of my book, and I tell folk all the time, man, we say we support our people. If an author, an artist, or someone who has a product, right, is trying to get their feet on the ground, we don't want them to give us a copy. We want to buy a copy. We want to support them. Too often we always want something for free instead of using our money to support our people. Corianne Jaluk, you gonna promise to come back, cuz?
I promise.
God bless you, man. Let's go take our pictures right now and put it on the website. Oh, Tina Early Bird, when we come back, I told y'all she was coming, right? And she here. I started from the bottom, now I'm here. She here, right? Told you right. We'll be back with OT after the break.